somebody within the Trump gangster mafia fascist Christian bullshit operation is doing everything it can to provoke Trump into starting a shooting war with Iran. I would like to believe that Trump is too much of an asshole and too stupid to provoke a confrontation with Iran. I'd like to think that. However, he has people surrounding him. Bolton, Pompeo, the little Nazi Jew, Stephen Miller. There's a whole bunch of them around Trump who are lusting for war with a country they think they can beat. And these bastards who are operating in the Trump administration, they know that Israel and Saudi Arabia and the United Arab Emirates will all support the United States in trying to destroy Iran. Because remember, Iran is Shia Muslim. Saudi Arabia is Sunni. The UAE is Sunni. And Israel wants to see them all dead. I don't give a fuck what kind of an agreement Netanyahu has struck with the murderous crown prince of Saudi Arabia. Netanyahu would like to see every single Arab removed from the face of the earth. You know that as well as I do. So the little bullshit about the tankers being fired on didn't quite work. And then more bullshit about mines being planted didn't work. So the latest now happened early today, Middle Eastern time, when Iran shot down a U.S. drone. U.S. and Iran agree that that happened. But this is where it gets murky. Whether or not the drone ventured into Iranian airspace, in which case the Iranians not only had a right to shoot it down, but were obligated to shoot it down. Now, the warmongers leading the United States right now are saying just the opposite, that it was in international airspace. Let me ask you something, Truth Seeker. Knowing that Donald Trump is the most lying son of a bitch ever to occupy the Oval Office. He's the most lying son of a bitch ever to be a so-called developer in New York or wherever he's developed shit. He is an absolute liar about everything. Why are we to believe this useless fuck now? Why? I don't. I've said before, if Trump told me it was a few minutes after 9 p.m. Eastern time right now, no fucking way I'd believe him. Even if my watch said it, I still wouldn't believe him. Because he is a liar. Have the Iranians lied to us? No way to tell. I tend to doubt it. Why? Because I'm pro-Iranian? No. I would like Iran to just live its life. If Iran is supporting organizations that the U.S. and Israel call terror organizations, and other people call humanitarian organizations that are trying their goddamnedest to balance out Israeli and Sunni Arab terror against the Shia people, that is what I would presume would be the truth. But what do I know? Netanyahu is a liar. The head of Saudi Arabia is a fucking butchering murderer. Trump is a psychopath. The Iranians are run by religious fanatics. Okay. But are they trying to export their religious fanaticism? Not that I'm aware of. So who are you going to believe? Here's what we know so far, according to the New York Times. First, the drone that was shot down was unmanned and unarmed. It is a RQ-4A Global Hawk drone, essentially a high-altitude robot used for surveillance over the ocean and coastal areas. See, we put these fucking things up. We don't care about somebody else's territorial space. We don't give a shit. Let Iran put one of these fucking things over New Jersey, though, and see what happens, right? But we don't care. We never have cared. I don't care who's been president. Democrat or Republican, Trump or Obama, doesn't matter. We do what the fuck we want, don't we? Here's something else we know. The drone was shot down by an Iranian surface-to-air missile. Now, both the U.S. Central Command and the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps say the high-altitude drone was shot down by a surface-to-air missile. So the shoot-down is a demonstration that the Iranians have that capacity, something that the war makers in the United States military and in the Trump crime family will take note of. Here's something else we know so far. This escalates this manufactured crisis in the Persian Gulf. This goes back to, as the Times points out, this goes back to when this orange fucker that runs the United States pulled the U.S. out of a nuclear agreement between Iran and 5 other countries last year and hit Iran with sanctions so rough that it's largely choked off their oil exports. Now, we all can agree that oil exports are horrible. What? Oh, but can you imagine if the rest of the world decided to close off American oil exports? Because as Trump likes to point out, and Obama pointed out, and Bush pointed out, we are now an oil exporting country. So supposing 8 or 9 countries, I don't know who, but let's just say Russia and China. How about Russia and China and Saudi Arabia and Israel? How about they said, United States, you're not going to sell any more of your oil or your natural gas. If you fucking try, there's going to be awful penalties. What do you think would happen? But we do this to countries all the time. We fuck over them so severely that it causes their civilian populations to die, to get sick, to go insane, to try to emigrate, to try to come here. The United States is a global provocateur. We have been for 125 years. And we don't give a shit who we provoke. If we feel like doing it, we will do it. Democrat, Republican president matters not a bit. Noam Chomsky's been talking about this for what, decades? Here's what we don't know. Did the drone venture into Iranian airspace? That's key. Because in the battle of public opinion, which is what this global public opinion, which is what this is all about right now, and for rallying what few allies we still have left, that question will have to be answered. Now, the U.S. has not given a precise location for the drone beyond releasing a map. Here's another map. Now, we had photos of the Persian Gulf. We had photos of a grainy video of ghosts removing something from something and spirit. We've had all that. A map? You fucking warmongers? The United States can't say exactly where that drone was when it was shot down? Of course we can. In a heartbeat. But maybe it's like the Gulf of Tonkin incident that cost the lives of 58,000 Americans dead, 1.5 million Americans still suffering from PTSD, and the deaths of 2 to 3 million Indo-Chinese. Is this an airborne Gulf of Tonkin incident? In my opinion, fuck yes. No doubt. I have no doubt. None. Because of what the leadership of the United States now consists of. Hi, Truth Seekers. Mike Malloy here. As you know, we've switched formats and are now broadcast exclusively on the Progressive Voices Network. So that means you get fewer program interruptions, no corporate commercials, and lots of profanity. But our format change also means some of our radio listeners no longer hear the program. It's been a while since I mentioned our podcasts, so you may have forgotten that there is a way to listen to this program anytime you need a good dose of screaming. Visit MikeMalloy.com and subscribe to our podcast. You have your choice. You can listen to The Ranting with the audio podcast or listen and watch me lose control with a video podcast subscription. As a podcast subscriber, you can download the program to your mobile device and take me with you wherever you go. And if you have a friend who needs a dose of truth-seeking, you can give a gift subscription as well. That's MikeMalloy.com, and never miss a minute of the uncensored fun and frivolity.